What if you had a choice? A choice of joining a line or a choice of making your purchases online? What would you choose? While you ponder on that, the National Lotteries Authority has provided another purchasing option. All their games are now available online. Yes, Grenadians! From wherever you are, purchase your favorite daily and jackpot type games using any electronic device. Register on the NLA's website at www.nla.gd. Top up your account and enjoy online lottery gaming at your convenience. We're taking shopping comfort up, up, up several notches. But the choice is yours. Join a line or buy online. NLA, make your dreams come true.
To rent a car in Grenada? Welcome to Ride Car Rental, offering efficient, time-saving service with affordable rates and 100% paperless rentals. Whether you're visiting or need a quick ride, we've got you covered. Call now at 473-422-1011 and get behind the wheel today. Ride Car Rental, where convenience meets the road.
Yeah. Welcome to Ride Along Live for today. It is Monday. Yeah. And you guys know whenever you see this, or you see me in my regular place, is because I am not in my regular place. I am in Grenada, Spice Island. You know, oftentimes I have to come and get some fresh air, guys. It's important to get some fresh air. That, and I have a story that I'm working on that I had to be here for. I have to be here to investigate this story. Not this one in particular. There are a number of things that's happening that needed my services here. That's why I'm here. All right. But today is just an alarming, crazy story. It is something that no person, no individual want to hear, want to live through, want to be a part of, want to witness. And the young man today is going to be sharing what happened in his village and what happened as close as his family member, and why it, and is asking the question, has it taken this long for anybody to pay attention? We're going to talk to this brother. So in the meantime, share the thing. We're going to be speaking to Glenn. And if anyone here from the Rose Hill, St. Patrick area, or anywhere St. Patrick, even St. Patrick, Victoria, St. Mark, St. John, all these areas, they even St. Andrew, even as far as Carriacou. In fact, the whole Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martin should listen to this because it affects you. All right, share the thing, everybody. Share the thing, and say I share. In fact, at followers, Clive, Philip, thank you so much. How are you doing? Welcome. Good evening to you, Miss Redhead. How are you? Reds, big up yourself. Thank you so much. Share, and say I share. Haven't seen Junior face on a live in 3 years. I look different. Face getting fat. How long has it been, Reds? Wow, Reds, where you been? All right, guys, add followers, everybody. Add followers. Sherma Paul, how you doing? Add followers. Do the add followers because we want this story to go far and wide, guys. We want everybody to hear the story. We want everybody to see. We want everybody to pay attention to this because it affects you. If you're living in any part of Grenada, Carriacou or Petit Martinique, probably as far as St. Vincent yet. Yeah. Thank you. Henry Belfon over there on YouTube. Thank you. Add followers. Everybody add followers. Because when you add followers, what happens is that you allow all your followers, all your friends to be notified. And they're going to come on and watch the live. All right? So add followers, everybody, so we can start. All right? Okay. Because I don't want to waste much time. I want to give this brother as much time as possible to speak about this disgusting story. So help me welcome on the ride here today, guys. My guest, his name is Mr. Glenn, and the brother is from St. Patrick. Help us welcome to the ride for the very first time, Glenn. Glenn, how are you doing, my brother?
Well, I would have to say I'm okay for now.
Could have been better. It could be better.
Yeah, it could be better, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
From work, but other than work, I mean, it's not an ideal feeling right now, to be honest.
Right. Well, earlier in the week, Glenn, we posted just an excerpt of your story.
Okay.
And I promised that I wanted to invite you on the program so you could really give us the full story.
Sure.
And we could put everything into context. We could contextualize all that happened. So let's start from the beginning, Glenn. Help us understand what's happening. Take us back.
Well, if I should put it in plain terms first before I actually explain it in details. It's like for over a couple of years. Well, when I say couple, I mean probably I should be exaggerating more. It's almost like 6 years, and it could even be a bit higher, but I'll be marginal, and let's say for 6 years now.
Yes.
My daughter have been exposed to indecent exposure by this particular gentleman. I'm 47 years old, and this gentleman is actually my companion. So he's more or less 47, 48, somewhere about it. Right? And he lives at the back of my house. So I'm at not on the main, I'm more or less sub-main road. And I live right on the road, and he's at probably like 2 houses back of me.
Right.
And there was one day that I was like home doing some stuff, and my daughter was in her room, which is at the back of the house, with her cousins.
Uh-huh.
They were, playing whatever, what children do. They were like, so that she would have been like around 9, 10 about it. And it so happened that I went in the kitchen for something. It could have been probably a snack or a drink,
Right.
And upon entering the kitchen, went to the sink to wash my hand. I just happened to look through the window and saw this gentleman with his penis in his hand, literally shaking it towards the direction of where the children were.
Mm-hmm.
So he was actually facing my house, with his penis in his hand, shaking it, so like to attract the attention of the children. Well, to be honest, I don't know if at the time they saw what was going on. But so the said time now I called out to him, and I said to him, it's like, I think in my exact words I was like, you see what you're doing, and your mom don't know. This is what it was, I think, as nothing. That's what I said to him at the time, because it was like, I say a couple of years, I was like 5, 6 years ago. And to be honest with you, it's like, that's the quickest I've actually seen someone is like standing, gone to the ground. So it's like the moment I caught him in the act, he's like, he actually almost disappeared. He dropped to the ground and started, putting back his, person, as they would say it, in police terms, into his pants. And upon seeing that, I was annoyed, to be honest with you. I mean, it's like, not even knowing whether or not any one of the kids actually saw that, I was pretty annoyed. So I think that instance, I actually make it clear to his mom, look, what he was doing and stuff like that. And the intention basically at that time was for him to stop. And let me make it clear now, his mom actually, herself and my family don't really get along because of things that he have done in the past. He said, guy, it wasn't to the extent of exposing himself, but he normally does a lot of wrong things in the area. There were times that, he would come at my property and take stuff away, be it cutlasses, be it, whatever he saw useful to him. So, I just say this to say, well, look, that's so that when I mentioned it to his mom, the reply that she gave, to be honest with you, was sort of vague.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't, meaningful enough to say, well, probably to get him to stop or satisfying on my part.
Right.
But I took it at the time, I'm being honest, And if I should just make that clear again, no, this said gentleman is actually related to my wife. He's my wife's cousin. So his mom is my wife's aunt, right? Yeah. So on that period in time, I didn't really take any action further. I thought, well, she talked to him, realized he got caught, probably he would stop. But it so happened that didn't deter him. There were several occasions after that first instance. So it's like basically it would have been like from 2018, 2019, come down there about. That if it wasn't me that caught him, it's like my daughter would actually see him in the act, call out to me, or my son would have seen him in the act. There were instances where neighbors actually seen him in the act because what he does, he's very cunning. If he got caught in the front, he will go to the back of the house. And as I said, I live right on the road itself. So it's like, as I step out my gate is the road. There is a stone right in front of my gate on the other side of the road. That's his stepping stone, to be honest with you. So days when he wouldn't do it at the back, he would come to the front. And it's basically based on where my daughter would have been at that particular given time, Because if her is at the front, her room is at the back. So basically started like that. But as it continued, I thought, this is not right. I need to do something about it. So through the years, I started making complaints. Probably the first or the second complaint, I made to the police. There was one gentleman that was working there at the time in CID, who I knows very well. He actually took it up on. He took it up, sorry. Based on his reports, he came back to me and said to me that he went to St. George's and spoke to the DPP at the time. I don't know if it's the same DPP that's now present. Is it okay to call names?
The DPP name?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think at that time there was a DPP called, I think Sir Nelson. I can't remember his first name.
Christopher Nelson.
Right, yeah. So he said he spoke to this gentleman and, the feedback that he got wasn't satisfying in the manner of which, to take steps, through the court or anything like that. Because one word that he actually said the DPP mentioned to him was that, he said that it takes a village to raise a child and stuff like that. So upon that, I was like, sort of baffled in the sense that probably he didn't explain in detail that he was a grown man and not actually a child committing, the offenses. You understand? So it's like, our hands were tied from then on. It didn't make sense actually taking it to court because of, I guess, previous things that he had done. He has a record inside it.
Right.
Of things that he has done over the years.
Stick a pin right there.
Mm-hmm.
The first time he did that to your daughter, did you directly approach him, spoke to him in a manner in which, not timid, but very powerful, profound, and strong? Did you speak to him as a man speaking to our next man, say, yo, this is not acceptable. You do this again, something will happen.
Definitely. Because I said, at the moment I caught him, I actually spoke to him formally before I actually went to his mom and let her know what he was doing. You understand? And Junior, something that he does, he did it back then, he continued to do it now. It's like meeting him in the act, he would either, two things. He would either try to make his defense by coming up with old stories, most of them untrue, or he would just try to detract you and come up with stories, be it something that had happened, with you or something. He would just try to detract you by coming up with some old stories, or if not, he would try to, entice you to be so like, hey, my partner, what's saying, and stuff like that. He will try to detract you in that manner. So at no point in time he ever accepted, and be so ashamed that he would walk away or run away or anything like that. He would just try to detract you with some foolish statement or something. Basically, that's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm aware of the individual. When you brought it up to me and you mentioned the location, I remember having doing a story about 5 years ago.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's about that time.
And it involved a man and a young 2-year-old child. The
Sure.
story that we broke here on Ride Along Live. And then this young man was molesting that 2-year-old child. And then there was a process of arresting him, a process of charging him because they say like he had no normal. But they
Right.
asked, I think they arrested him, they charged, and he went through the process of the court, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Is that the same person we're speaking about?
That's the exact same individual, if I put it like that.
Right. Okay. What happened with that case? Do you recall with the
Well,
child?
I could be, how should I put it? I don't have confirmed information as to see information directly from the police or the court.
Right.
But what I heard is that the matter was dismissed to the fact that the gentleman deemed incapable of, a trial in court.
Right. Because they say he's a
Yeah.
madman. They say he's a madman. He's mental.
Well, I mean, that is to be determined by a psychologist or maybe, a medical doctor. But to be honest with you, I'm being frank. He has certain disabilities.
Right.
And it's more or less on the learning part. Is that, he's not as capable as learning things as me and you would.
Okay.
Right? I mean, even physically, you could see slight, issues with him physically, like walking and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, I've been around that gentleman for this like 20-something years. And based on what I've observed, I mean, I'm no medical doctor or anything like that. But based on what I've observed, he has, honed his craft. He has done that so often that he finds ways, as I say, to detract you. He and just before I continue, something he started with my daughter after like the first instance where I caught him. My daughter's school at one of the schools in St. Andrews. So during that period, she would come home. Her mom works in Grenville, but she would, come home, to start her homework and stuff rather than wait for her mom who finishes work like 4 o'clock and stuff. And he would be up the road. And the moment he sees my daughter going down, because we live like down a hill, he will follow. So he's like a prey, like a fox. He's hunting. So the moment that he sees her going home, that's when he will start his thing. And as I say, around that time, maybe his mom is not there, his brother's at work and stuff like that. That's where he go to the back of the house, which her room is there, her window is there, and start his craft.
Wow.
You understand that? That's how intelligent the guy is, despite all his issues that, he would have, or they say that he would have. I mean, there is mad people that is intelligent. Personally, I don't believe this guy is mad. As I say, he has issues, probably learning disabilities and whatever. But he knows wrong from right. He's very good at his craft, to be honest with you, because he deals with timing and everything like that. I mean, a madman wouldn't, despite, as I say, we have intelligent mad people, but I think a madman who doesn't know what he's doing wouldn't get this done the way this guy is doing, to be honest with you.
Right. So all that you're saying here, it seems the guy's a stalker, and that is dangerous.
Definitely.
So when you report that to the police, I know you said that, what the guy told you that the DPP said, there is no way for it to independently confirm that the DPP actually said that.
Right, yeah.
There.
Yeah, sure.
But why police or investigators, why someone haven't arrested this guy? Because you do have video footage of it, you have photos of it. Why is didn't the police move in and arrest this guy? Because he's stalking your daughter.
Well, to be honest with you, when I called you, I explained to you, this actually happened. So let's say from August to now, this actually happened on about, not exaggerating, 4 occasions. And remember I said to you, added to my daughter, I now have a 13-year-old. My daughter is 15. I now have a 13-year-old in my care who came in from August, just before Carnival thereabout, who has actually witnessed this on at least 3 occasions already.
Wow.
You understand? And the last 2 occasions was the day prior to I calling you, and I think it was So I actually, this week in particular, the first instance was on Wednesday the 11th,
Right.
right? The last instance was Friday the 13th,
This Friday, the
right?
13th, I just gone there.
This Friday. So after me and you spoke, so the video footage that I actually have
Uh-huh.
was taken out on Friday. During that period, I was actually in contact with people from Child Protection and the Royal Grenada Police Force, trying to get down to the bottom of things. So while I was in the process talking to the police and Child Protection, he was committing the act in the middle of the day, more or less. You understand?
I have a video that I would show. I want to make sure that it is somehow censored in a way, because I don't want to show no pornographic material on air. And to everyone who feel like we are protecting this perpetrator, we are not protecting him. In fact, we are going to expose him, all right? Because we want to make sure that he's dealt with seriously, because he probably have some deficits. We're not saying that he doesn't. But we want the people to know, right? And we want authorities to know that they need to find a way. Even if they think that he's mad, he can't be mad and on the street and preying on young girls and preying on young boys. And they can't even go to the house. They can't even go to they can't even sleep properly because he is preying on them. So we're going to expose this individual. Give us some time. So I want to get back to the police, and what information was shared with the police, and tell me all the actions that the police took.
To be honest with you, Junior, it's like, after speaking to the police, to be honest, that was like Friday afternoon. I mean, I'm a man, I'm a strong man, I know that. I mean, I don't even have to ask myself this question. But at that point, probably the only reason why I didn't break down in tears, to be honest with you, because I'm a very sentimental person too.
Right.
And the only reason why I didn't break down in tears at the time, I mean, is because I was around 3 other co-workers. I mean, who actually, I'm the senior, and they actually knew of the case because at the time I was making the calls, I let them know. Even prior to that, I let them know, what was going on. And it's like, as I say, based on the information I got from the police, the only reason why I didn't break down in tears at the time was just because I had to man up and it's like, be a leader to that team. Because there is one particular worker there that actually have a daughter that lives in the same community. He don't live in the community, and she's like probably a couple months, I guess. She haven't taken a year yet. And it's just that, you could even mention, it's like, that would happen to my daughter. And it's like, so I had to show face, not to break down at that point. Because, I mean, the information I got from the police, to be honest with you, was very, very disturbing. And, let me make that clear. I'm not bashing the Royal Grenada Police Force, to be honest with you. Because for people that, would identify me here this evening, I was a member of that service at one point in my life, very early after school.
Okay.
So I'm not bashing the police. And for what I understand, to be honest, after speaking to a certain police officer, which I wouldn't mention name or even a gender, but it's like that police officer made it clear to me that their hands are tied. That means that there is no, I don't want to go as far as there is no law. There is no facilities, there is no protocol in place at present to deal with this particular gentleman. And, that was really, really, really heartbreaking at the time, knowing what I was going through. And I say, I've been going through that for years. And, if I should just add to that, right? Part of the reason why I had to actually take up that, seriously, this point is that I have a son who is like 23, 22 going on 23. And he's actually a police officer now.
Right.
And the disgust that, he has shown over the past, week in particular, with this particular event, led me to realize that, as a father, as a leader, if I don't take, this matter seriously and take it further, probably, I I would allow my son to more or less commit himself. So this is not just for me, to be honest with you. You know, I'm capable of, a lot of things. I'm being honest.
Right.
I'm
But you
capable
you show tremendous restraint so far.
no, Junior, if I should rub, some salt in that wound, one of the gentleman's relative, who's actually aware of the situation, said to another relative of his, so it's like a uncle talking to, an ex-relative, said to him, Glenn is very, very patient. If it was me, I don't know what I would have done, but I would have done something already.
Mm-hmm.
And in that manner, definitely, that something had to be something physical, not. I don't believe he was actually mentioning like about taking it through the courts or anything like that.
Right.
Just to emphasize on the nature of things.
This video clip that we're watching here, of course we can't see anything in particular.
Yeah, but
I guess
maybe the actions. You
could
got
just
to watch the actions. Yeah.
So he is sitting there by the window, masturbating.
Yeah. So that where he's sitting there, that's his brother's house. So he's on the side of his brother's house. So something I didn't tell you too. You see exactly where he's sitting there. If he goes back like roughly, let's say around 25 to 30 meters, he would be in his mother's yard, right? Now, one of the reasons that he's in that position presently, I actually set up a camera at the back of my house. When I think that was somewhere around August or even before that, letting him know that this camera is for him. And the moment I capture his image doing what he's doing, I'm sorry for him, the police will get involved and, I'll get down to the matter. So if you come forward to where he's now, he would actually be in the front of his brother's house. So that's where he usually used to do his craft. Junior, from the moment I placed the camera there, he stepped right back to his mother's yard. So not even where you're seeing him in this video now, he stepped back another 30 meters in his mother's yard. Because there is this clearing that he could stay there and see my daughter's room as well as see the kitchen window. So tell me, if somebody is mad or is not, capable of reasoning or something, would a camera deter you from committing that act?
You know
to the fact that you have to step back almost like 75 meters from where you were committing the act to continue committing it. Doesn't that say that this person is, they're fully aware of what they're doing? You understand?
So at this point here, are you speaking to him? Did he know that you was watching him there?
No, if he knew, it wasn't actually me. My wife that was home at the time and actually was called by one of our daughters to the attention of what he was doing, and she had to be honest with you, be like, almost like a sniper to get this footage in my daughter's room. Because the moment he sees you, I tell you, it's like he have something like a button he pressing to just get instantly calm and push back that thing where you need to.
Wow.
So it's like she could not have let him see her at that point. And you wouldn't believe it, at that moment in time, probably a couple minutes after, he was asking my daughter to come, calling her out. It so happened that my wife didn't get that footage. When my wife actually finished that footage and went back, I think towards probably the kitchen or the living room, he actually came in clear, present area, come forward with his pants down and his thing dangling, asking her to come. You understand? And that is when she told him, don't worry, the police is coming. And from the moment he heard that, he went back normal. So, that is basically, what I've been dealing with, to be honest with you.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, you go ahead. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, what more evidence are they waiting for? Are they waiting for you to rape somebody? Like, what else?
Well, it so happened that this particular footage, we didn't really provide that to the police. Because that footage was given, as I say, after I was disappointed in the remarks I got from the police. So that was like Friday afternoon.
Right.
So that was during the period which I was speaking to the police and didn't get no satisfactory information or anything like that. So, to be honest with you, Junior, I got at one point my intention was to just, make social media dirty with this particular video. I was warned that, there is a charge for that, the police would arrest me and stuff like that. I was even deterred. And to be honest with you, I saw it as probably the perfect opportunity at the time. If the police had to take somebody, I was prepared to sacrifice my freedom to bring this matter out. That's how I felt at the time. I haven't posted the video since on social media. But that's how I felt at the time. If the police need to come for somebody, let it be me. I was prepared that the police come pick me up for posting the video without the consent of the person, take me to court, lawyers would have to be involved, then the matter will be publicly known then, because apart from a program like yours, I saw it as the way forward. To be honest with you, I was actually prepared for that. And even now, I'm still prepared.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm being honest.
Guys, if you just started to watch, we're speaking here with Glenn. Glenn lives in St. Patrick, right? Rose Hill area to be exact. And Glenn and his family, his young daughter,
actually 2 daughters now,
has been going through this suffering where this so-called madman, he only mad when he needs to be mad. He's a convenient madman. That's what they call it, right? And he has been stalking his daughters over a period of time. And Glenn believes that he is not getting the right law enforcement backing behind him to deal with the situation. The man blatantly go by his daughter's bedroom window, pull out his penis and shake it and call her and all that stuff. And he's been doing that for quite a number of years now, instances. So Glenn went through all these times and trying to make the general public aware, the police to take action. But they're saying they can't take action because he probably not well in his head to stand trial, which I think is crazy. They had to find a place to put these people, right? If they determine that he's mentally challenged, they have to have a space to put him, not in the general public. Because what he's going to do next, I fear, is that he would, I don't even want to say the word, he would take serious actions, advance to what he's doing right now to his daughter. And if you pick up something and hit him down, knock him down, or do something to him, and we're not preaching vigilante justice, but if you were to do something like that, you would go to jail because you is a perfectly fine man, and they would say that you do something harmful to someone. And that is the sad part of it. So I salute you because I probably couldn't do it. All right. I salute you for being so patient. So you're coming on here to let the public be aware that this is happening and action needs to be taken now. Right? Action needs to be taken right this minute. Have you seen any changes within the last day or so? Have you seen any changes at all? Anything change about the situation?
Junior, to be honest, it so happened that one day in particular, I think it was Saturday, I was actually coming from a job and going home. And this said hill that I mentioned to you that we normally come down, so it's like at the Broady Hill. God forgive me, but I see this gentleman in a position, to be honest with you, actually preparing himself to commit his craft in a different location.
All right, we just lost connection with Glenn, and we will be reconnected with him as he shares his story. But what transpired? Okay, I think Glenn is back. Let's reconnect back with Glenn. All right, Glenn, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. No problem. Go ahead. You were saying.
Yes, I actually saw this gentleman actually in a position, preparing himself. The thing is, I've seen him on so many occasions. I think more or less I'm an expert on knowing when he's actually intended to commit, his crime, his passion, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him in a position preparing himself to commit this act, to be honest with you. And it so happened that something that actually led me to even believe that more. There was a talk, even recently, that he actually tried or he committed the same offense that he usually committed with my daughter around that said area. And it so happened that there was a little girl in that veranda at the time. You understand? And he was on the opposite side at a vantage point. So he was more or less on a bank.
Mm-hmm.
And something, when I passed him, something just tell me, look back. And when I so happened to look back, he was like eyes on me. So he's like, he expect me to figure out what he was doing. So he looked back now. So I look back at him, and he looked back at me. So, so he's like, to me, I mean, I don't want to, put things in his head or so, but he like was one night, and one night he figured me out. It was something like that. Yeah, to be honest with you.
Glenn, what about the other people in the neighborhood? What about the other people, children in the neighborhood?
Junior, to be honest with you, there have been instances where these gentlemen have done that to actually done the act to, I mean, if I should say, a little boy. That was like, it could have been maybe 10 years ago or a little bit more. That matter again never reached or never surfaced in the court. Right? There were instances where he actually done it with animals, the real thing. The matter never reached to court. So it's there was one instance where he was actually posted on social media with a dog.
Oh, Lord.
I've actually seen him on his step with that said dog committing the said act.
A dog?
A dog, Junior. I mean, it's like, I'm not exaggerating. I mean, to be honest with you, it's unthinkable. It's unimaginable. And I mean, if I have to expose him, I have to expose him, throughout. I'm not holding back now. I'm not making up no story. You understand? I'm not making up no stories. You understand? That's how that exactly, that's how that been played out over a period of time. To be honest with you.
I'm more convinced that he's sick. Like he's very much mental, very, very, very mental. But that doesn't excuse it. That doesn't mean that if he's crazy and he's going through all of this stuff, having sex with everything that walks, that you and your family should bear the brunt of this.
Well, Junior, that's the whole point, right? As you put it, the fact that whether he's insane, whether he has, learning disabilities, whether, all of these cases even put together. The whole point about it, where I live, where myself and my family live, it's our property. We're not renting, we don't owe the bank, nothing like that. It's our property. So what I'm saying, if you can't find peace in your property, you're paying tax for your property. The people that you're paying tax to cannot protect you from your property. What's next? You understand?
Yes.
What's next? To be honest with you, I even browsed at some of the comments there, and there's somebody that says like play mad for 5 minutes. To be honest with you, I don't have to play mad. We all have a certain degree of madness in us. Probably I might have more than other persons. This is not an issue of playing mad for 5 minutes. This is an issue of protecting what's yours.
Yes.
As I say, this thing started with like my property more or less. Now it comes to my daughter. And to be honest with you, if I were to get a lot of people might be in the background and thinking he's making up the story as he goes along. That is not even half of the story. There was a certain instance where my now 23-year-old son almost lost his hand by the same gentleman with a cutlass. And how do you think that happened? My son was, at the time we had like animals, goats and stuff. So he was going to get feeding at the time he was in, I think, secondary school or the stages. And he was nowhere on this gentleman's property, neither his family's property, getting feeding. There's a government, if you put it as a government reserve area, the Piton Hill area. So under that hill, that's where we live. My son was getting, feeding for his goat, and this gentleman just chose to just go there and just, Well, if you put it like that, be mad.
Oh, wow.
And started chopping where my son was actually getting the feeding with no, provocation or anything like that. His cutlass happened to fall on, I can't remember which hand it was. Most likely the left.
Uh-huh.
On the left top of my son's left palm. The cutlass fell there. You could have seen the mark there, probably there was about 3.5 to 4 inches. Tonga that day, that this cutlass was more or less dull. It wasn't the cutlass back. The cutlass was just dull enough that he made a mark. So it's like, when you pong something,
Right.
he made the mark there. So my son could have been now like without a palm, without a wrist at 23. If that cutlass was, as a cutlass should have been that day, without provoking this gentleman. So, so these just are the things that, happened over the years. And if I had to play mad, that was a good opportunity to play mad then. You know what I did then? It so happened that said evening is like a ton Hercules. I raised him bodily. And I'm like 6'3". We are almost same height. You understand? Probably I might be a little bit, thicker built or so. I raised him bodily from that point where he did the act and brought him to the entrance of his parents' gap to call their attention. You understand? So it's not something I have to play mad if I were to take a different road. I think I'm mad enough, to be honest with you, to do what is necessary if nothing is being done and this were to continue.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
That's how it is.
What's his first name?
His first name is Kenson.
Kenson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alias Bam. That's his name. Most people will know him better.
And the allegations is that Bam is terrorizing and has been terrorizing the community.
Definitely.
We are calling on the Royal Grenada Police Force, or we are calling on whichever department or whatever is there to deal with situation like this. We're calling on them to deal with that situation because this ain't gonna get better. It don't seem like it's getting better, It seems like one day that man might jump inside of your house. You might come and find a man inside your house. If you don't end up inside your house yet.
I'd have to laugh. I wouldn't comment on that, to be honest with you. But Junior, I need to add some salt to that one.
Mm-hmm.
If I should say, I'm not originally from this village, right?
Okay.
My wife is. I've been here like over 20-something years. I actually grew up in Monfendio at my, early years, and then River Sally in my latter teens to like, adulthood. My father is from River Sally, my mom is from Monfendio. So, these two villages actually my place of growing up and influence. River Sally probably most, And I will have to put some blame on the people in this village, to be honest with you. My back is broad enough, I could take it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess as much even some of them seeing me now would say all kind of odd things about me, but I'm cool with that. I live at me. Even before coming into the village, this guy was actually doing this thing from, very, very young, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Provoking people. Probably as time went on, his craft escalated into more serious things that would actually be into crimes and stuff like that. And it's like listening the feedback from some of the villagers, not all, some of the villagers. Even those that you expect to have more common sense than some that is actually professionals. When you listen the feedback that, from them, based on things that he would have done to people or otherwise, it's like, there was one instance when a couple of persons actually mentioned, it's like when I was all flustered and frustrated, and it's like, probably on the spot of doing something stupid. There are people like, would you put yourself in trouble for him? You understand? And it's like there are people that laugh at a lot of things that he's done.
Oh.
Things that he's still doing. So it's like, it's a sitcom.
Yeah.
So a lot of his actions are literally accepted in the village. To be honest with you. Mm-hmm. A lot of his actions. And this is something that, always actually disturbed me. It's like, to be honest with you, there was something that happened recently. Yeah? similar incident to the incident that he was charged and placed on remand for. And that one was swept under the rug. I'm being honest. There's other people in the village that might be willing to attest to that. I'm not making up stories. You understand? And in that particular incident, a little brother saw his little sister being assaulted. Said it to the told the mom what was going on. And it was just blown away. All because of friendship. Or what you gave me. Or what you think I might say about you. I mean, I have to be just, I have to just clean out my closet. I mean, that's the best I could do for now. I'm not making up stuff.
Listen, Glenn, you're doing a public service.
No, well, I mean, I'm honored, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you're doing a public service. And I'm standing behind you 100% on exposing this maniac, this delinquent.
If I should say something, right? Because to be honest, remember I said earlier on, the police are not entirely to be blamed by that. They have slacked on numerous occasions and know that, and I mean, they know that. But based on the last conversation I've actually had with one of senior police officers, and I quoting her, right? I don't know if it's factual. She said to me that a couple of years back when she was actually stationed at Sutter's, I mean, sorry that I revealed the gender. She said that the mom had reached out. And I would give the mom that if that is true. Because it was something I had advised her on numerous years back. The police officer said the mom has actually reached out to government officials in the past to assist in dealing with this gentleman. And she was told that it's her problem. Well, not in the exact words, but more or less that she have to deal with that. And so in that light, I see it as, the people that we jumping up and stain our fingers and put X, which is wrong, for every 5 years, have a big responsibility to take into that, to be honest with you. The policy makers.
You have to have a policy in place to deal with it.
Definitely, and it's like, as I said, this is not happening today. Governments have changed. Politicians have changed in terms of representatives. And nothing is being done up until now. And you know what baffled me most? The previous incident we mentioned that happened just about before COVID there with the young girl.
Yes.
Now, if you deem somebody not capable of standing trial, I mean, it's like, so you tell me that person is not capable, so they just free to roam again, commit the same act, probably, do nothing about it or bring them in again, shake them up again, let them go again. It's like catch and release. So it's like we're fishing just for fun. Catch you, make you see some trouble and release you after.
Yes.
Social services have not come in. Child protection welfare have not come in. No politician actually took it up on their own to take up the responsibility and say, well, look here, this gentleman has an issue. Let me see how I can assist the family in dealing with it. Because, to be honest with you, I mean, let me make something clear, right? The mom at one point actually had my whole family her darkest places, thinking that, we don't like her, we don't like this gentleman. She even said to us on numerous occasions, kill him, I'll bury him, and stuff like that. And I've made it clear, I have nothing against this gentleman. I have nothing against his mom, neither his family.
Right.
My only and biggest issue is, how can I grow up a 15-year-old? She's now 15, so from like 9, 10 up until now, she's being exposed to that kind of behavior, and it's like, I can't do nothing about it. Well, I shouldn't say I can't. For me, I choose not to take the part that probably I should have been taking all along, because I'm not getting justice.
But you would have been in jail today, and he would have been out molesting and doing more. Let's take a quick call, Glenn. Caller, you live. Where are you calling us from?
Toronto.
Toronto, go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling to say I have worked in this area, actually as a supervisor. I have worked in this area.
Yeah, listen on the phone. Listen on the phone, all right? Not on the TV.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And this is more than what this gentleman is saying, I understand it fully. There are different levels of autism, and autistic people would appear to be smart and, how to put it, cornish, that they can trick you. It is a part of the illness. And I'm not trying to say what he's doing is condonable. But what happens here, they have a very high level of intelligence, but yet still they may not be able to read. And some may be able to read very, very well. And then you can come and ask one of them, what happened in 1987 on January the 3rd? And for some reason, it comes out, oh, there was a heavy snowstorm that kept, and you don't know how it happened. That's the reason why they cannot figure out totally what causes those things.
Right.
The behavior of the exposing of the cells is common among that.
Well, Carl, let me ask you a quick question. And I understand autism. I have a few family friends who also have family members who have autism, who's autistic. But what we're saying here, isn't the police or the government or whoever have a responsibility to prevent someone from being in a position where, with their autism or whatever, is hindering the lifestyle of a young person who is in a neighborhood and the entire family? He's basically stalking this little girl. Is there anything? Should there be something where they could put him in some kind of therapy to get him away from the general public and causing all this distress to the general public?
Yeah, and that I was going to get at that, because it is an illness. It's something that is very unpredictable. So probably in places like Grenada, the smaller countries, they don't have those systems set up. And it's a good topic. It's a very, very good topic, because most of the autistic people that we've worked with, they are in homes or institutions. Sometimes they put two of them in a home, in a place. They would rent homes, the government would do, and they would hire people so that they would have this supervision. For instance, years back, I don't know, you probably might, I don't even want to call the name, but anyhow, I think he's dead now. They had this guy they used to call Wega. He used to do the same thing. Okay? And there's another one called Oswell from Paradise. Same thing. But what happened, and the gentleman made a very good point, people take these things as though they're stupidity, and they make jokes of them, singing song behind them. And so what happens, it arouses certain emotions in them. And they have very high sexual drive, believe it or not. They have very, very high sexual drive. And if they see something that they would be attracted to, they may hold on to this one, or it can spread. It's a very dangerous thing.
Right.
The government, and probably it's new to the government, let's say that, because it's not something you've seen before. Because once we see them, they're stupidity.
Right.
In some cases, you can go to school and learn certain things. Others can't.
Right.
Some for instance, when we work with them to study the behavior to see if they could find the cure for it. One guy particularly, he would not wear his socks inside out. He wears it outside in. The inside of the socks, you have to turn it because he feels his ants all over his body. So we have to try to take him and put him in sand or whatever to see how it can work. Other times, there are workers that said they're taking a little rest, they give me a bed and see him over them. And that's something I actually experienced.
Okay.
Standing there with this knife.
Right.
And then when something said to wake up.
Right.
And then he said to me, I could kill you with this, right? I can kill you with this. So the level of intelligence could be high, but yet still I don't know how to explain it because science can't even figure it out.
Right. Okay.
Junior, I have a question for the gentleman.
Okay. Here, Glenn has a question for you, but you can't hear him because I have to roll the phone. So answer his question and listen to his question on the live. But thank you so much, Martin, for calling. All right.
Okay.
All right, cool. Let me say one thing before you ask your question.
Mm-hmm.
We we cannot diagnose the young man on the live because it takes a professional to
Definitely.
diagnose him. So we can't say that he does
Yeah.
in fact have autism.
Yeah.
And so I want to make that clear. There is no way there. I'm not a professional to diagnose him. Neither one of us here could diagnose him. That has to be done by a professional. If he have autism or not, we cannot determine that from this live. So go ahead, ask your question.
Yeah, I overheard the gentleman stated that he actually worked in this area. So if he had worked in this area, I mean, what was the outcome? I mean, did he make a difference? Did he make recommendations towards the state, or the responsible bodies to remedy such situation? Not just this given one, but similar situations. I mean, did he do anything? Apart, he said work. Sounds
Right.
like he just got paid and just showed up, and to
Yeah.
me, he never made a change.
Okay. I got you. So hope he's listening. Sorry, guys, how the phone is routed today. We cannot have the conversation with the caller on the live and you because it's not really set up properly in my remote studio. But you do have a point there. We need action. We
Definitely.
need action. We need something to change. And I hope that the authorities are listening. I hope people are paying attention because something needs to be done. Because if you were not that patient of a person and able to calm yourself, woosah, woosah, and calm yourself, you could have probably be sitting in a prison cell somewhere while he outside terrorizing more people. So you are actually seeing ahead and protecting your sanity at the same time trying to reach out and make sure that there is a change to this and also being there for your family. And I applaud you for that, Glenn.
No,
You
but
doing a
the
great
whole
job.
point is, I mean, I'm a leader. I'm the head of my family. I mean, well, it's two parts, husband and wife, but I'm the husband. Biblically speaking, the husband is the head of the home. My wife might be taking that deeply, but it's like that, and how I see it is like, if I were to be away for this, it's like, I feel it's like I've failed my family, to be honest with you. Because if I'm the protector,
Right.
I can't protect if I'm not there. That's the whole point. So I say, I mean, Junior, I've pondered numerous things in the past, to be honest with you. Numerous. I'm capable of numerous, I know that. But, when you weigh the pros and the cons, it's like, in situations like this, you can't give people win. You can, because, as I say, his mom on repeated occasions is like literally urging you on, kill him, I'll bury him, and stuff like that. There were instances where she asked me to give him hose, beat him with a hose and stuff like that, and I said to her, I said, no. I said, if I do that, you and I will be sorry for him. Because to be honest with you, I mean, the way I'm now, most people who know me, especially people that grew up with me, probably, with school and stuff, you know, growing up, I had anger issues. Because at some point in life, I was, abused by, my stepfather. And it's like, I didn't let it come to me, but during that period, anything was possible during them times. And it's like, over the years, I've, consoled myself, actually motivated myself to be different, to change, to control my anger, and stuff like that. So, you know, it's like, you've been through, well, not exactly it, but you've been through certain stages as a child, and now your child is going through that, and it's like, you're asking yourself, where does it end? So even as a child, I was not protected by being abused from my stepfather, and the abuse was physical. Now I'm a dad. I'm incapable of, protecting my daughter from a stalker, from, a pervert.
Yeah. I
And a lot of times, I mean, in the US where you live, I mean, there's people that would use this as the easiest excuse to just
do
out
something.
someone's light. But, I don't see it as that, to be honest with you.
You're
I see
using
it as,
tremendous
the
restraint.
state is responsible. Whosoever represents the state is responsible. And it's like, no one is taking action. Why? I mean, we're in 2024, we're not in 1983. I mean, come on, man.
Yes,
You
tremendous
understand?
restraint, tremendous restraint, Glenn. I have to applaud you on that. So Glenn, from here, what do you want happen now? I think a lot of people are paying attention. A lot more people will be watching this. A lot of people are watching it now and sharing it. What do you want happen now?
Junior, to be honest, from the onset, from day one, my intentions were honorable. I didn't want anybody to make jail or anybody to die or anybody to get injured or anything like that. It was just that this needed to stop from the onset. So from the first act, this was supposed to stop after that. That is my whole goal in that. I'm not trying to victimize anyone or make someone make a jail or anything like that. That's not my thing. As I say, I know the gentleman has issues. As I say, he has relations with my wife, So I don't want to, it's not the idea of put him in jail or beat him. It's nothing about that. This thing just needs to stop. My daughter needs to live free and comfortably in our own space, in our own home. Just look at it. I mean, it's only this week or this weekend in particular. My wife told me that she had asked those kids to like stay inside. I mean, come on. I mean, so it's like you're imprisoning your children in their own home just to prevent something. So it's not like we haven't been taking steps. There was a former police officer who at one point had reached out to him to talk to the mom because they have a very good relationship to get this to stop. I mean, I don't want to rub it in his face, but part of his idea was ask my daughter to have the window closed. It's the only window to her room because her room is more or less centered. So it's only one wall that is actually on the outside. So it's the only way of getting fresh air in. That is unimaginable. How could I ask my daughter to close her window just to get rid of this pervert? And whether it's closed or not, once he knows that she's there, he does it.
Wow.
You understand?
Who's the MP for your area?
His name is going to come. This gentleman that was worked in finance for a couple of years before.
Yeah.
His name goes and come.
Somebody go put it up.
Could be Sylvester or something like that.
Not Sylvester. Somebody go.
I think he had Sylvester at some point. Too,
minister. He's also the minister.
He's from River Sally. Yeah.
Yes. Cornwall. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have to reach out to.
Dennis Cornwall. Yeah.
Dennis Cornwall. All right. Yeah. Let's take a quick call. We got another call on the line. Caller, your line. Where are you calling us from?
Hello, I'm actually calling from Grenada, but I'm from London. I've just turned into this program, and it's about autism, isn't it?
Well, we don't know, right? Because we cannot independently diagnose. We don't know if there's a diagnosis.
Hang on. I'm not talking about this particular case. My profession was a special educational needs officer in London. I worked for local government.
Okay.
And I've actually worked with autistic children. I've worked with the Autistic Society. Some of my clients, children and parents were autistic parents. And I've done a lot of training in autism. I never used to teach, but I had to work in a situation whereby when a child is spotted when a child is spotted with autism, the various stage of autism, the autistic children who are extremely bright, the autistic children who have behavioral problem, the autistic children who are sociopath. So you cannot look at one child and say he's autistic. You have to have a pediatrician,
yes,
a child psychologist, an education officer, a social worker. The whole medical profession has to look at the child. Then you categorize it. Sorry, I'm quite excited because I've been in Grenada and I've been talking about this. I've been trying, and we really are treating these children really, really bad in Grenada. They're not dumb. They're not stupid. They're frustrated. Mm-hmm. And if we do not have the right thing we in place for them, I'm quite emotional about that because I've worked for years. Right. I'm Grenadian born, but I worked for years in that area in England. I work with a team of professionals, psychologists, pediatricians, doctors, the parent, the child, with the school, with the teachers. I used to actually train teachers how to work with children with autism and the parents. This is a setup that we need here. We have a lot of children who are autistic here. I can spot it. And I can see that the way our parents here do not know how to handle this. There's no training. There's no professional training in the school. The teachers, the more you are angry and mad at an autistic child, the more the child will become frustrated and misunderstood. For example, some of them have very fixation. They're excellent at remembering things. They're excellent at art. They're excellent at music. But if you're trying to tell an autistic child who is into music to learn to read or write or art, this child will get frustrated. You have to look at the child to see what form of autism that child has.
Right.
If the child has a behavioral problem, which is sociopathic, then you have to have the right professional training for the child. You also have to teach the parent, the diet, all this are involved.
But,
I don't want to take the time.
Mom, let
but
me ask you this question. We're talking about a
47-year-old man.
right?
Yeah.
So how should we deal with the situation at this point in time for this 47-year-old man? We're not talking about a child.
He's not going to be cured. There's no cure for it. Behavioral theory, to adjust his behavioral theory. Medication doesn't help. Medication suppress the anger, the frustration. Behavioral theory, and in the behavioral theory is like talk therapy, doing different things with them, finding what that older man is good at doing, what brings him joy and pleasure, what frustrates him, what brings up his anger.
I think we know what brings him pleasure.
Okay, is that a good thing? If it's not a good thing, then you have to work. If it's something that needed, if it's something that needed psychological treatment, you have to do that. If it's something that they need mental health treatment, you have to do that. You cannot leave them in a house by themselves and tell them to, behave or get on with it. You cannot beat.
Junior, could you ask the caller to stick up in this?
Okay, hold on. Caller, hold on one second. You're not going to hear Glenn because of how we have the call routed.
Okay.
But he wants to interject with something at this point in time. So you might want to turn up your TV a little bit if you want to watch it on your TV, what he's saying. Because you're not going to hear him. All right?
Okay, turn on my phone.
Yeah,
turn my phone out.
No, well, yeah. Oh, watch the live. He has something to put in right there. So watch it. He has a response for you. Sorry guys, the way how we set up the studio here temporary, we're not able to converse between the caller and the guest. All right? Sorry about that. Yes, so go ahead.
Yeah, you see, the point she mentioned that they cannot be left alone. So in short, they have to be supervised. That is one of the major problems this gentleman has. He's just left to roam. When I say roam, literally roam the entire village, night or day. So his general problem is supervision from day one, and that continues. You understand? I mean, I know everybody have to make a living and, who have to go to work or whatever the case. So that's part of the problem. When he's left to roam, he has time to do those things. So that have been one of the major problems, because I tell you, I live at the front, he's at the back. So I've observed him for over 20-something years. And in most instances, it's either when the mom is not there isn't like a brother or so around, or there isn't an adult person around. So the moment that he knows that he's just there all alone, and he's like, my daughter is there all alone, that is where he starts his history. So that was a very valid point I picked up that she mentioned on the part of supervision.
Supervision. He's not getting the supervision.
He's not getting the supervision.
He's able to just do whatever he wants, roam and do whatever he wants.
Literally like the village police, to be honest.
Okay. The caller is calling back. Yeah, hi caller. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back with him now. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Back.
Yeah, go ahead. No, listen to me on the phone now.
What we need, what he just said, we need centers. We need community centers, yeah?
Yeah.
We need centers with specialist people who can supervise this gentleman or whoever have autism in our society. We need to have centers, and in that centers, we need specialist workers. For example, that young man, that middle-aged man, whatever his situation is, there must be something in his psychology that he's good at. Somebody would like to play card, to play domino, to occupy the mind and to redirect the mind to something that is positive, constructive. You can only do that in a supervised environment where you have centers, where you take them in the daytime and you work with them. And of course, you send them back home in the evening or night, but they're not left to roam the street. Roaming the street, some of them do not have social sensibilities. They won't hurt you, but they don't know that they're hurting you. And we have to teach our community, do not laugh at these people, at these humans. They are humans. Do not tease them. Do not call them stupid, dull or dunce. You are frustrating them. And because they cannot analyze information, most of them can't.
Right.
And because the information you send to them are frustrating them more. And I've seen it here. I've seen it in I've been to a drive they had at the mall one day, and there were people coming who had grown ups. I want to ask, what do you do with them? We locked them in the house.
Right.
That's a human being. That's somebody with a disability, a learning disability, a social disability, a cognition disability. Our country, Grenada, would face a lot of this in the future because how young people are growing up as well. So we have to have professional centers training from kindergarten to support this. To support it from the kindergarten, credible in the school, special education lead teachers, people specialize in autism.
Yeah. Well, I foresee, listen, I would take you up on a conversation in the future to
By
have
the
a
way,
full
I'm from
conversation.
St. Patrick. I was born in Riverside, and I went to London as a child to
Okay.
school, and that's where I had all my training from, you know?
I would love to have a full conversation with you on autism and understanding autism because, as you said, I believe that this is going to be a major problem in the future as well. I see it. So I think we need to go further with this conversation.
Yeah, you need to have some specialists. If you can get some specialists online to continue that conversation to help our people to understand what this is about, it'll be very, very useful.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'll
Okay,
definitely
thank
do
you.
that. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. At the same time, we are calling on the representatives to do something to help out the situation here. We have Glenn and his family who is living in fear, right? We understand the individual that is doing it to them is a human being that may or may not have some sort of disability, but at the same time, it should not jeopardize the livelihood of an entire family. Let's take this last call. Caller, you live?
Junior, good evening.
Hi.
And I would like to say good evening to the gentleman on your show.
Hi, good evening.
What I've noticed in Grenada, I'm a Grenadian living abroad, and what I've noticed is that people who are sick mentally is not properly diagnosed, and they really need to do something about that. Everybody I find is being labeled as either they mad or they crazy, and when they act out, they just get like maybe a certain medication, and all of them just become like zombie kind of. But not everybody need that kind of strong dosage of medication. That's what I think. People need to be properly diagnosed. Not everybody need the same treatment. I'm sorry for what that the man is facing with that problem with a man like stalking his family and his young daughter it's a difficult thing to be going through. In my village where I used to live, there was a same situation like that with a man used to just expose himself to the kids coming out from school on the street. He would just come out and expose himself, and it's like nothing is being done about it. So one day maybe the man advanced himself to one of the young ladies, and she went home and told her dad. And her dad came back with a cutlass and beat him so bad. So these are things that I think also the government need to get involved and play a role, because it's not when election come everybody just I'm green, I'm yellow, but that's a thing that the government need to step up and do something about. I really think that this is really needed urgently for people the government to come on board to deal with a situation like that.
Absolutely, caller. Thank you, and I appreciate your input on this. All right. Thank you, caller.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, Glenn. A lot said here. What's your final words, Glenn?
Actually, I mean, I would always stick to the plan. The plan is, as I say, to get this to really get this stopped, to prevent this from happening, and it's like that's my goal from day one, and that would be my goal throughout, and not just for me, for the entire village, or, if this were probably happening in some other village in Grenada on the whole, I think, to be honest with you, the government, the policymakers need to get on board and start acting quick, because at some point, I don't know how long, to be honest with you, my tolerance will continue for. I'm being honest.
Right.
There's times people would be in different moods at different times. You might just come from work and somebody fret you so much, and you come and you see that, and you might just act. And as I say, the whole fact is my son is actually involved in it now, because, as I mentioned earlier, he's actually a police officer now. Yes. And it's like, he more or less, as I say, sort of enacted me to really, start, getting a voice, because his mother had to calm him down the first day in this week when he actually saw this happening, when he came from work. So he's like, he has a certain portfolio being a police officer, and he's like, his hands is still tied. So you've seen a crime commit, and it's like, you cannot do nothing to prevent the crime. You understand? So it's like, this is not just for me now. This is for my entire family. My daughter is the one most affected, but it seems like, everybody started to start crumble by being tired of this continuing. It's like, I alone probably might be able to, maintain, normal stature for now. What if everybody inside the house just decide, look, we had enough?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a farmer as well. There's machete, there's fork, there's whatever. Who knows what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want things to go down this way. And to be honest, that is the reason why, I've actually take it to the police on numerous occasions in the past. But as I say, part of the biggest problem is the policymakers, the government, the parliamentarians. There is nothing in place, as the lady mentioned, to deal with stuff like that. And the whole point is, just take, for example, even if there is no policy in place, what you're telling me is like, you can't even take him in, as a form of, deterrent. There's a lot of people that they will commit certain crime, but once the police brings them in, beat for questioning, just hold them for a certain period, they might tend to think. But as the caller mentioned, aggression and so on will lead to even, further stuff. So I say, I'm in sympathy with the gentleman. It's hard to be in sympathy with somebody like that. But just to the fact that at least we get a little more knowledge onto the reaction of a person with the supposedly, autism or some other ailment. It's like you tend to understand more.
Yeah.
So as I say, it's not wanting to hurt that person, but it's to get them to stop what they are doing. Basically, that's my goal.
I understand. Understood.
Yeah, that's my goal.
Thank you so much, Glenn, for coming on. And again, I want to reiterate that we are not in the position to diagnose anyone, especially over the live. We don't know that if he do or do not have autistic in any way. But we are saying it seems like it, but we cannot diagnose that for sure. And again, I got to thank you, Glenn, because you have been very patient dealing with the situation here. And I know how difficult it is, especially when your loved one is going through this. So I appreciate your patience thus far, reaching out to me. And you called me the other day and you said something that really touched me. You said, Junior, I am no longer
proud to be a Grenadian as of today.
And I wanted you to see that maybe there are people who did not take this thing seriously, but I wanted to step up to ensure that I take it seriously. And I show you how serious that I am. That I said to you last week that I'm flying into Grenada, but even if you are the first person I have to do in my makeshift studio, I want to do it because I want your story to get out there, because I want there to be a change. I would personally reach out to the parliamentary elected, the MP of that area, and see what he could do. I would reach out to the police. I'll reach out to whoever I need to reach out to see what we could do collectively to put a stop. All right?
Sure.
I'm going to do my part, because you definitely did your part and you're doing your part. Everybody has to do their part in this case.
I would definitely continue. I wouldn't give up, Junior, to be honest with you. It's like, if I give up now, to me, I've failed my children. I've failed my family, And I say, first up is basically for my family. If I could get this done to probably, on Grenada as a whole, be a champion to that, I'm willing to go all out. I mean, this is nasty. You know, it's not right. You know, it's
Yeah.
not even right for, I mean, an elderly person or an adult woman, much less for teenagers. You know, who had this probably even before turning a teenager. You know, so this is just nasty altogether. So it's not just, as I say, for my kids, but this just need to stop in general.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to work hard to do what we could do, Glenn. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you chatting with us. All right.
Yeah. Anytime, man.
Thanks again, my brother.
No problem. Take it easy.
Yeah, guys, so we're speaking there with Glenn, and Glenn being so patient. I'm telling you, Glenn being so patient. I don't think that a lot of people could have been as patient as Glenn in this situation here. But I think that the community need to reach out, right, and help both Glenn and this young man, because it's not Glenn's fault that he is living in an area, and he is a man that is working hard to protect his family. It's not Glenn's fault, right? And if you're looking at it from the other perspective, it's not even Bam's fault that he is, if he is mentally ill, it's not his fault either. But there need to be resources to help out in situations like these, right? Our goal here at Ride Along Live, as you know, is to try to see how we could make things happen. Oftentimes things get stuck and there's a backlog, there's just stuff that's not moving because of whatever. We're going to try to expedite this situation whereby assistance could be met for Glenn, so Glenn and his family don't have to go through this, and also assistance could be met for the individual, so he could get help. He could possibly even live a more fulfilled life, right? It's not about cursing the person. It's not about wishing death on the person.
There's some shadow banning on by.
One is it's just like if someone is walking down the street and they have a big cut on their arm. You could see the cut on the arm because they're bleeding. But in these cases, when you have people with mental illness, they're sick, they're bleeding. You can't see the blood. You can't see it. It's not physical. It's mental. But they're sick. They need to be go to the hospital. They need to be checked. They need help. And if that's what we need to provide, that's what we will endeavor to do. All right? So we thank Glenn. We thank you guys for sharing. I'm calling out, and I will be calling out to my friend, Mr. Dennis Cornwall. He's the MP for that area, to see what he could do. And I'll come back and report. And hopefully, guys, we could have the harmony of Glenn and this young man living in the village, doing what they have to do, the family coming together to see how best they could help out the situation. But we all have a part to play. All right? As I told you guys earlier, I'm in Grenada right now for the next couple days or so. And I want to invite you guys, if you have not yet been on any one of our ride excursion, I'm inviting you on Sunday, right? Let me put the flyer up on Sunday. This Sunday, guys, this Sunday. See if I could put it up. Let me see if I could put it up large. So I could put it up large so you could see it better. Right, so I'm inviting you guys on this Sunday. We are having a ride, right? We do it every Sunday. But this Sunday, we're having a ride in St. David, the parish of St. David. So look at St. David, we're coming. If you don't know what a ride is, it's e-bikes. Right? So we have a bunch of e-bikes in Grenada, and we have trails. So you'll be experiencing the ride trails. This Sunday, we're going to be riding in the parish of St. David. And we're inviting you guys to come on board with us as we ride in the parish of St. David. For more information, if you want to book, you could call right now. The number is 473-422-1011. That's 473-422-1011. Or you could scan that code right there. I put the link in the chat, so you could also click that link and book. We have about 4 or 5 bikes remaining. Get your family, your friends, and come out, man. Let's have fun, right? Ride St. David. You get a chance to see a different part of Grenada. You get to experience. You get to burn some calories, because all this sitting down, all they're driving too much. Some of all the belly getting big. Some of all the belly getting too big. So all you have to walk it out. That's what I told myself the other day. And I say, your belly getting too big. So every time I go out on a ride and I get a little workout, I sweat, you know what I mean? That feels really good. So we're inviting you guys, get a friend and join us this Sunday, ride in the parish of St. David. We have your e-bike ready. It's fully charged up. So if you're going up a hill, you don't have to pedal. You could use the power, but you have to pedal sometimes, because some of all you're just lazy. Don't be lazy. Ride St. David is going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Click that link right there, guys. Just scan it or click that link. We want to see you ride St. David. Also, guys, I got to tell you this quickly before we go on a break. If you're looking to rent a car in Grenada, right? If you're looking for a car rental while you're in Grenada, we now have the ride rental. Wow, everything is ride, right? Yes. So you could rent your e-bike. You could also rent a car, SUV, a truck. All right? So ride, you could click that link right there. We'll be right back.
Rent a car in Grenada? Welcome to Ride Car Rental, offering efficient, time-saving service with affordable rates and 100% paperless rentals. Whether you're visiting or need a quick ride, we've got you covered. Call now at 473-422-1011 and get behind the wheel today. Ride Car Rental, where convenience meets the road.
I want you folks to play these 3 games from the NLA. Daily pick 3 cash flow and play with. You will be supporting sports and culture, nation building and our future. So go out and play, folks, make it a must. You will see what the National Lottery is doing for us. When you play pick 3 cash flow and play with, the NLA will support you all the way.
Starting September 30th, Monday to Friday, these 3 games will be drawn mid-morning, 9:45 a.m., midday, 12:45 p.m., and evenings, 7:45 p.m. The National Lotteries, supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Sunday money
today. Located inside Rider Excursion at the Esplanade Mall, we handle both small and large orders with speed and precision. For fast, quality t-shirt printing, call Instaprint at 473-422-1011. Get your perfect print today at Instaprint. Printing done in an instant.
Pick yourself up with Ride Rent a e-bike today and take advantage of the smartest and coolest way to get around. Rental starting for only $30 per hour and less than $100 EC per day. Zip through traffic, save money, and look awesome doing it. Check us out at the Esplanade Mall today. Visit us online at ridersebike.com or give us a call at 473-422-1011. Your wallet and the planet will thank you. Ride Rent a e-bike.
Or event to the next level? Advertise on Ride Along Live and reach over 10 million viewers worldwide every month. With a global audience tuning in for the latest news, entertainment, and culture, your message will get the exposure it deserves. Don't miss the opportunity to showcase your brand to a diverse and engaged audience. Ride Along Live, where the world watches and your business grows.
Contact us today to get started.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Don't forget, if you have a business and you want to advertise on Ride Along Live, give us a call. Send your business viral and stop keeping your business a secret, all right? So if you guys have business with nice products and services and you're scared to advertise, like you don't want a lot of people to see your business, or you know what some of them do? They go and put it on platforms that ain't even reaching. Platform that no platform in. Put it on Ride Along Live there and reach 8.9, call it 9 million people per month. Yeah, Ride Along Live. Yeah, man. This platform does platform. Right? Right? We go platform your business to the next level. Okay? Thank you so much. All right, guys. Kibbs, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Kibbs, our moderator there. Thank you. Thanks to Lois JJ, and Lois is our senior producer. Thanks to everyone who like and share. We have a Mia. Where's Lynn? Lydia, big up yourself. Juma, big up yourself. Everyone, thank you so much. Everyone that followers, everyone that shared, everyone that gave us stars, everyone that donate, everyone that became a member. You could become a member of Ride Along too. You could become a member, a supporter. Click that link about being a supporter. Find out more. Peace out, guys. Catch you guys again tomorrow. Also, you could follow us on YouTube. Don't forget that. You could also follow us on YouTube. Ride Along Live. Catch you guys again tomorrow. Peace.